Ace Jack Doubleton. Where do I want to put this? I think this to me feels like a B, maybe a C, probably a B though. Like whenever you have Ace Doubleton, one of the big scary things is your right hand opponent has the king, and you know aces are meant to capture kings. So I don't really like leading from Ace Doubleton all that much. The presence of the Jack also kind of adds to this problem, because now, you know, it's not like if you just have Ace Doubleton, the opponents could have King, Queen, Jack, 10, whatever. But when you have the Jack in addition, maybe they have a guess for the Jack, you know, some sort of position where they have to decide, are they finessing you or your partner for that card? And so this card can easily come into play. Next one, King, Queen, Doubleton. This lead's great. I mean, it's probably not as good as Ace, King, Doubleton, but anytime your partner has the Ace or the Jack in the suit, you definitely want to lead this, start unblocking, start setting up tricks. The fact that it's Doubleton in your hand makes it way, way, way more attractive to lead, because you want to presumably start setting up a trick and taking yourself off a potential end play later. So that's definitely an S tier. Small Doubleton, I don't mind small Doubleton leads. I mean, it's not like the most appealing. I would prefer to lead from some sort of honor combination, but if we're talking specifically Doubletons, I think small Doubleton is okay, right? We're not blowing up a trick. We might just be leading a little too passively. We might give the opponents a guess in the suit if our partner has Queen third or something. But overall, small Doubleton is not too bad. I guess I'll put it, you know, it's, if I'm putting it in the same tier as Ace Jack Doubleton, maybe I should move this down to C. Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that. Okay, maybe I'm going to adjust the rankings a little bit once I get a little further in, but we'll try and maneuver them around like this for now. But let's continue going down the list. Ace King Doubleton, obviously the best lead in all of Bridge, or Ace from Ace King, best lead in all of Bridge, so I'm going to move that over here. I wish there was a little more space between these pictures. Maybe if I do this next time, hopefully people can tell what's going on. Ace King Doubleton, King Queen Doubleton, those two are together. And I guess I'll put things closer to the left if I like them more in a particular category. Queen Jack Doubleton, not so bad. I think this to me goes kind of hand in hand with small Doubleton. The fact that we're missing both the Ace and King of the suit means it's possible we're not even setting up a trick for our side. But if partner has the Ace or King, it is kind of important to put this lead on the table, start setting up tricks, start unblocking the suit. I think I like it a little more than small Doubleton. Ace 10, a little better than Ace Jack, but not by much. Similar reasons, I don't like leading away from aces that are unsupported. A right-hand opponent could easily have the king of that suit. King Doubleton. Maybe a bit of a hot take, but I think I like this more than Ace Doubleton leads. I'm gonna, for now, stick it in, oh, if I can figure out how to swap it over here into the B tier category. This might drop down in a minute, depending on how I feel about it, but King Doubleton sometimes can work out. I mean, I suppose maybe I should clarify that I'm thinking about a lot of these in terms of suit contracts because against no trump, you're not really leading doubletons all that often. And if you're looking to get a ruff, King Doubleton has a couple of possibilities in which it works. One, your partner could just have the ace. Then it's very easy, king, ace, ruff. But if your partner has the queen, it's also very possible you get the ruff. And this could screw with Declare's communications a little bit. You could maybe make the same argument for ace doubleton. Like if partner has the queen, you might get a ruff. But when you lead the ace and play low, Declare is going to know what's going on. They'll know you have a doubleton, they'll know your partner has the queen, they'll know you're looking for a ruff, so they can play the hand a little better. With king doubleton, if you lead the king, even if your partner encourages, sometimes Declare doesn't know who has the queen next, and that can allow you a bit more of a possibility in getting your ruff in a suit contract than when you lead from ace doubleton. So this is of course very scary. If you're missing both the ace and queen, this is going to blow a trick basically, a good percentage of the time, unless your left-hand opponent is the one with the ace queen sitting over you. Okay, going down the list. Queen 10 doubleton. I don't like the lead, but I don't mind it. To me, it kind of sits in the same category as king doubleton. I mean, the presence of the 10, I think, makes it a little less attractive to lead from, because now there's the possibility that if Declare has the jack on your right, for example, you can just use this to set up a trick, prevent some sort of finesse position, whereas leading the queen is going to give that away. So I think I'm going to sit it maybe in C tier. I believe I like it a little better than ace 10 doubleton. Maybe a little less than ace 10, but a little more than ace jack. I'm going to throw it there for the time being. Jack doubleton, I hate. I think this lead is terrible. There's so few instances where this lead is going to work out for you, and it's just often going to blow a trick. And one of the issues with it is Declare is never going to misguess the suit when you lead the jack doubleton. Queen 2 doubleton, which we haven't gotten to, but queen small doubleton, sometimes Declare is going to play you for the queen jack and misguess, whereas when you lead the jack from jack doubleton, Declare always knows your partner has the queen, so if they're looking at all of the ace king 10 9, they're going to be able to figure out which way to finesse that suit to pick it up for no losers. And the fact that you don't have one of the honors, ace, king, or queen, means it's very difficult for you to set up a trick in partner's hand if you're looking to get a ruff. Sometimes dummy comes down with a queen and Declare has ace 10, so rather than protecting your partner's king, you end up blowing up the entire suit and Declare makes all of the tricks, rather than having one loser. I think this lead is terrible. For a lot of reasons. King 10 doubleton feels to me like it's kind of in a similar category to these ace 10, queen 10s. The presence of the 10 makes it more likely that we can just take a trick on pure power if we don't lead it ourselves. So I think I'm going to throw this into the C category. Let's put it probably here, sitting behind queen 10. Ace queen doubleton, this lead is awful. I think this is probably going to be my lowest in the rankings, even worse than jack doubleton. There's a bit of a meta consideration here, which is that the fact that you have 6 high card points in your own hand, because the opponents are the ones declaring a contract, and obviously, all this should be taken with grain of salt, that that the opponents have most of the high cards because they're declaring, and this can depend on the level of contract and the auction and a bunch of other things, but you have 6 high card points here. It's very likely that Declare has the king in the suit somewhere. If it's in their own hand, you're just blowing up a trick. If it's in the dummy, you're just setting up the king and dummy immediately. Very unlikely you get a ruff. Even if your partner has the king of the suit, it might not work out well for you to lead this. I mean, if I was told partner had the king, sure, I would lead the ace and then play the queen to unblock. But because the suit's blocked, you might still never get a ruff. Your partner might not get their king. Anyway, ace queen doubleton, terrible opening lead. 10 doubleton, not as bad as jack doubleton, but still pretty bad. I'm going to throw it into the C category for now. Again, this is one of these spots where declarer is not really going to get the, misunderstand what's going on in the suit. If they have the jack and dummy and they put up the jack and your partner plays the queen, they probably know what's happening. Maybe you're leading from 10-9 third, it's possible, but I think more likely than not, they're going to be able to place you with 10 doubleton and finesse against your partner's 9, for example, on the next round. Also, just a whole variety of positions where you end up giving declare a guess for free in the suit. Like, there are frequent times where declare has like ace queen 9 opposite, ace queen 9 fourth opposite jack fourth, and they have to decide, oh, do I play one player for king doubleton or do I play the other player for 10 doubleton? And so leading this 10 doubleton just gives away that guess immediately. So I don't think 10 doubleton's a very good lead. King jack doubleton's pretty bad as well. I guess I'm going to stick this just in front of the ace queen in the D tier ranking. Again, for a lot of reasons, this holding is very likely to take a trick on its own. The only way that it wouldn't is if your left-hand opponent has both the ace and queen, and then this isn't really a suit you want to be leading regardless because they have 2 stoppers in it, or the first 2 rounds of the suit are going to take tricks. So, very unlikely to work out for you. Yes, if your partner has the ace, maybe you get a ruff, but then maybe your jack was already going to be good enough on power to take a 3rd trick in the suit. So, not a huge fan of that opening lead. Queen doubleton, to me, feels very similar to king doubleton. And the fact that, kind of as I mentioned when I was talking about the jack doubleton, where declare will always guess the suit correctly after you lead the jack, when you lead the queen, declare is not going to be guessing the suit correctly a significant portion of the time. So even if your partner has jack third, you're still likely to get the trick a decent amount. So I think I'm going to put queen doubleton in the same tier as king doubleton for a lot of the same reasons. Maybe a little ahead of the king doubleton because, this leading from king doubleton, you can just blow a trick very easily and not recover. Queen doubleton, even if it's a double dummy mistake, you'll survive some of the time. Ace doubleton, I don't mind so much. Do I like it better than queen jack doubleton? I'm going to say no, so I'll stick it here for now. I guess the point being that, again, you don't want to lead away from the ace. It can easily set up tricks in the opponent's hand. Aces are meant to capture kings and whatnot, but if you are looking for a ruff, at least you get to void yourself in the suit immediately. You lead the ace and you get to continue another one. If partner has the king, great, you get your ruff immediately. If partner doesn't have the king, then declare is basically forced to pull trumps next, so that you don't get a ruff in the suit. So I think ace doubleton's okay. looking at all of these other combinations, one of I guess the main things that I'm noticing is that I really just don't like doubleton leads in general. But the fewer touching honors you have, the less likely it is that you're giving up a full trick by making this opening lead. Maybe you give up a guess. If declarer has king fourth opposite queen fourth in the suit, they would have to play you for ace doubleton rather than your partner. Last one, jack 10 doubleton. I like this opening lead a lot. As opposed to queen jack doubleton, where we're expending a lot of high cards in a suit where it's very likely the opponents have both the ace and king. Jack 10, it's possible your partner has one of the missing cards, either the ace or king. You might still get a ruff in that case, and it's very unlikely that you're going to blow a trick in this suit or give anything away when you make this lead. Yeah, some rare cases, declare has like king fourth opposite queen 9 fourth or whatever, and when you lead the jack 10, they'll pick the suit up. But most of the time, I think this is going to be somewhat equivalent to small doubleton, but the honor capabilities of this holding are going to help you out a little bit. In potentially setting up a trick, your partner might have the queen, your partner could have king 9, your partner could have ace 9. So I like it a little more than some of these other doubleton leads that I have ranked in B tier. This list feels a little lopsided towards B and C. Maybe that judgment is dependent on me thinking that just leading from doubletons is not good in general. I suppose I could try and balance it out a little bit to make it look more bell curve-esque. That's probably fair. We can move the queen jack doubleton up into A, and I think I'm content moving. No, we'll leave it at that. Honor combinations are good to lead from. Suits that are less likely to blow tricks, so like ace empty doubleton, small doubleton, queen doubleton, king doubleton are okay. And then when you start getting two non-touching honors together, these are not so good, with ace queen doubleton being the worst.